How are we doing, guys? This is Nate here with Blades and Boom. We're going to be reviewing a knife that you can get currently on the market here. This is the Edgy 2, which replaced the Edgy 1, of course. I think the only difference really was the shape of the blade. Other than that, very minor differences. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and go over some of the stats of this knife. This is best used as more of a heavy-duty EDC work knife. It is a little bit slower to open due to its mechanism and so on. This was invented by Howard Pope along with the knife maker Stephen Jernigan. So the person that designed the unique aspects of this device was Howard Pope. And then once he had that idea, Stephen Jernigan went on to create the actual knife design itself. The steel that's used for this is a 5CR15 MOV with a hardness of 55 to 57 HRC. So it's a little bit of a softer steel, and there is a reason for that. We'll go ahead and get into that in a little bit. The blade length is 3.25 inches long. It's got a high hollow grind on it, and it is considered an American Eagle Wharncliffe blade. So just kind of a modified Wharncliffe. The handle material is a 2CR13 liner with glass-filled nylon TPR inserts. So a good handle overall. It is very comfortable in the hand as well. Now the lock that it uses is your standard back lock or lock back design. You really can't go wrong with this in a work knife, except that it does take two hands to close, which is unfortunate, but it does serve its purpose, being that you do want this to be since this is made to be more of a heavier use knife, you do want to go ahead and have that stronger lockup rather than something like a liner lock or a frame lock that is more likely to fail. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the ergonomics on this real quick. As I said before, it's extremely comfortable to hold. This handle design just melds into what your your grip, which I think is wonderful. I have had no problem with heavier use with this. It certainly is a strong design, and I like it myself. Some people don't like these formed kind of angles in there. I have no issue with them, and I find it really nice, since there is no jimping on top, to have that finger trello that's pretty deep to get a good grasp on it. Now, this, beyond being just comfortable in the hand, when you're looking at a work knife, you do want it to be comfortable in your pocket as well, and that can be kind of a problem for some, since it does have to be a stronger knife. Some can be too heavy or bulky. This one, I've had no issue. I love this deeper ride pocket clip. It's very firm, but it's not so firm that you can't get it on and off of your pocket. And this kind of tapered, not tapered, just the way they shape this clip, it doesn't get caught on things, which is great. I thought that it might at first, but I haven't had any issue with that whatsoever. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what is so interesting about this knife. It's actually a self-sharpening knife. So when you get it, it comes extremely sharp. So just for reference, here's paper. This is after some pretty heavy use. It's sharp as can be, has no issue with paper, even the longer cuts. It just glides through like butter. Now this knife, the uniqueness comes in that if it starts to get dull, you actually have diamond sharpening stones built into the handle. Now this can be a problem area for some, as because of the price range of this knife, it can be not quite lined up in some of them that you get. If you do get one that isn't lined up, make sure you get it replaced, because it is a great knife, especially at the $15 mark. When it starts to get dull, all you have to do is close up the knife, push it down into the handle a couple of times, and you're good to go as far as sharpness again. And guys, this is extremely sharp. Here's some cardboard for you. it just breezes right through. You can see there's no ripping at all in that cardboard. So very cool. Cuts through cardboard just fine. Cuts through paper just fine. Like it's nothing. Well, looks like that softer steel. You know, sharpen it right back up, and we're good to go again. So, very cool. It's nice on the go. You know, this might be great for a bug out bag or a work knife, something to keep in a tackle box, or maybe at the workbench, because you can go out. You don't have to continuously keep a stone with you or such, and you know you can have a sharp blade. Now, these stones do sharpen in kind of a different way than your average knife does, because this is made for cutting your thicker materials such as cardboard. It's made to create a microserration on the blade, and you can see that kind of discoloration when I hold it up to the light. Those microserrations are why it can cut through paper, twine, so on and so forth so easily, because it kind of saws it at the same time as it's cutting. Now, that's great for some things, and I think it's great for a work knife. Other things might not be so great on. Those are going to wear down quickly, and that softer steel, like I said, because it is sharpening on the go, they did put that softer steel in there. So, you know, you got to take that at face value. Now, the durability of this knife, as you could see, it could breeze right through that cardboard, no problem. And because of that, the blade durability is no concern to me. The softer steel, because you can have that sharpener with you at all times without adding really any extra bulk, is not a big deal to me. The back lock on it is extremely strong, or lock back. It's got that button or lever right at the very end, so it is a strong spring in here. If it was up any higher, it probably would be pretty tough to push down. But with it way back there, they can have that stronger spring. So I have no doubt that this would hold without any issue, even through more rigorous jobs. Now, is this knife cool? Well, that depends on who you are. I think it's cool just because it does have the sharpening stones included, and I do like that blade shape of it, even if it is a little bit strange. I could see it coming in handy, especially if you were to, say, have to cut some twine or straps or string, because you can slip it down in there without actually hurting what you're cutting against. You can see I can push this against the surface of my workspace pretty hard, and it's not going to mar it up, which is really nice, a good design. Other than that, it's your basic folding knife with a lockback. There's no fanciness to it except for that cleaning, or the sharpening stones within there, and the overall design is pretty basic. Now, you can't take this apart to clean it or anything. If you take off this scale, it's basically all welded together. So if you are worried about that getting gunked up, then the best way to clean that is probably just with a can of compressed air. So let's go ahead and talk about value real quick on this knife, because I think it's pretty cool, and it looks like it may have been recently discontinued. So right now would be the best time to buy, if you're gonna buy. This knife runs for under $20. I bought mine on Amazon for $15.87. It does have an MSRP of $39.99, but you will not pay anywhere near that, at least right now. It may go up in price later, since a lot of CRKT designs do go up in price once they're discontinued. But right now, since they're still extremely easy to come by, and you can purchase them off of mini knife websites or even Amazon if you want to go that route, it's staying pretty cheap. For that price, it's exceptional value. You could buy a couple of these, throw them in your work box, throw one in your tackle box, or maybe keep one in your car for just kind of a beat 'em up knife. Something you don't have to worry about, something where if the blade gets chipped or whatever, it's 15 bucks. You throw it out, you get a new one, do what you need to do. Maybe you don't throw it out, maybe you just keep it anyway. Since it is a work knife, it's not a big deal if it gets beaten up. So would I get one of these? Heck yeah, I love this knife. It's a knife that I'm going to keep around, probably just throw in a work box, keep around the workbench to use when I need something to cut through heavier duty materials where I wouldn't want to use my EDC knife. So guys, that's a quick sort of overview of the CRKT Edgy 2. Definitely go out and buy this knife if you need a beater up or a work knife. So this is Blades and Boom. If you like my review, please be sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below and I'll try and get back with you or get knives that you might suggest on this channel for review. So thanks so much, guys. Have a great one.